Leah Gazan's office, Peyton speaking.
Hi, I've got a couple of questions for Leah Gazan about Bill C-233.
Okay, certainly. Can I ask who's calling?
Yeah, my name's Currie. I live in Windsor, Ontario.
All right, sure. What are your questions about the bill?
Well, looking over it, I noticed there's a few mentions of, and this is along with other different ministers, mentions of consulting with the Minister of Health.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see here. Yeah, like part of the content, under Content B, to create a national standards for health and social supports to complement. And then, so I guess in general, my question is, with the inclusion of health aspects, what I'm seeing people talk about online is that they're worried that this is going to lead to discrimination against people based on private health information, including but not limited to vaccination status. And so there's a big worry that people, if they don't disclose their vaccination status, they may not be able to participate in a guaranteed livable basic income program. So I'm wondering what the thoughts are behind including these health aspects in the bill, and are there guarantees that private medical privacy would be protected in a livable basic income program?
Yeah, so thanks for the question. So first of all, the answer to that question is that a basic income would not discriminate based on someone's vaccination status or other, aspects of their healthcare decision-making. What we've said and what the bill says is that a guaranteed livable basic income would be an unconditional benefit for anyone who needs it, and that it would be available to anyone over the age of 17 living in Canada who requires that assistance. So, for example, someone living below the poverty line, they would be eligible to receive a GLBI regardless of whether they've been immunized against COVID or not. It's not a reward for, certain behaviors. It's really about establishing a basic social floor below which no one can fall. And the other thing I would say about that piece in particular, about national standards for health and social supports, that's not referring to, individuals' healthcare choices so much as it is recognizing, for example, the social determinants of health. The fact that, for example, when people are living in poverty, they're more likely to be living in bad health, more likely to be accessing the healthcare system because their basic needs aren't being met. And so this is about ensuring that the right supports are in place to make sure people have what they need to thrive. So the bill isn't about, infringing on people's privacy. It's not about, rewarding certain groups of people for decisions that they're making with a basic income. It's about saying everyone who's living in Canada who needs this support should be able to get it.
Okay. And then, now there's always worries in possible steps down the line that perhaps the good intentions behind this bill could get, appropriated by interests who would want to use it to, reward or punish or invade privacy. What measures are there in place that could prevent something like that, or are you guys thinking about that possibility?
Well, if the bill passes, it doesn't mean that a guaranteed livable basic income is then automatically in place. What it does is it establishes a framework for the implementation of a guaranteed livable basic income, and then, there would be a process whereby the program itself would be developed and implemented. Private members' bills can't direct government spending, so we can't put forward a private member's bill that says, on this day there will be a guaranteed livable basic income funded at this amount, but it does start the process for getting that underway, and I think the entire basis of this, and one of the things that we're saying is that everyone has a right to live in dignity. Nobody in a country as wealthy as Canada should be living in poverty, regardless of the health choice of the personal decisions they make, whether or not they're vaccinated, whether or not they're a smoker, whether or not they drink excessively. Nobody should be living in poverty. And actually, a lot of those social issues can be better addressed if people have their basic needs met. So I think we just have to continue making that argument. I think it's unfortunate that that some people have been misinterpreting what's in the bill to make claims about that the guaranteed livable basic income would be denied to some people. That's certainly not the intention.
Yeah, there have been some really strong claims, and then I went and looked at the bill, and I was like, I can bring up come on, it's those memes that go around, but they're not usually cited. And that it's going to, come on, load. If passed, it will be made law, which means if you are not vaccinated, you won't receive any EI, CPP, OHS, social services, or pensions that you paid into as part of the new social bank credit system aimed at seniors who are not vaccinated. And I'm looking at the bill, I'm like, am I missing?
None of that's in there. None of that's in there. So, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's just not in the bill. And I know that there's a lot of lack of trust in politics and politicians for legitimate reasons. I mean, a lot of governments have broken promises to people. People are really struggling right now. I mean, inflation is higher than it's been in 3 decades, so I get that. But what we're actually trying to do here is address the fact that right now people who are working full-time jobs are relying on food banks. People are struggling to feed their kids, to buy groceries, to put gas in the tank, even just to survive. People on social assistance with disabilities who have had their rates frozen for years. It's difficult. And what we're saying is that there's actually a lot of wealth in this country that we could put towards helping people who need it. And that's what the bill's about. There's no nefarious intent behind it. In fact, the idea for this bill predates COVID. We had a motion before turning it into a bill, before COVID even started. So, there's really nothing in here that, does what some people are alleging.
Okay. And has Leah Gazan ever spoken publicly against vaccination mandates or requirements or the push to invade people's privacy? Has she said anything publicly opposing that?
No, she hasn't. I mean, I'll be honest. I think that our position on that might differ from your own. We've supported vaccine mandates in healthcare, for example, where people are interacting with vulnerable populations. But we also believe that people should still be able to receive the benefits that they've paid into all of their lives, even if they're not vaccinated. I mean, the Canada Pension Plan is not a reward for good behavior. EI is not a reward for quote-unquote good behavior. Guaranteed livable basic income is not a reward. These are things that everyone should be entitled to, and we believe that regardless of our views on vaccine mandates. And I understand that that's a divisive issue, and we might not agree on it, but we also don't think that people should be out on the streets living in poverty, because they're not vaccinated.
Yeah, okay. I guess I just want to close by just encouraging you and Leah to maybe, and I know that there's multiple pressures being in the political party, but to take another look at the different kinds of, because healthcare mandates have a stronger argument than a lot of the other ones, especially other professions, and also looking into the science behind the efficacy of these, what they're doing, and documents that have been released by Pfizer. I just want to encourage you guys to look at that, see if you can, it's a lot, some of it's a lot to pour through, but maybe readdress it, and I'm hoping if you really look at that evidence, you might shift a little, and if you could ever say anything publicly opposing the imposition of a lot of these mandates, I think it would really help public trust in what you're doing about the guaranteed basic income aspect. It would help people see that you're on their side in a lot of ways, especially if you went about it, in a evidence-based and relatively subtle, not going crazy activist kind of way. But so I just throw that in there. And could I get your name, please? Just your first name is fine.
Yep, my name's Peyton.
Your name's Peyton. Okay.
Yes.
It's been really great talking to you, Peyton.
Yes, likewise. Thanks for the call.
Okay.
Have a great rest of your week, and I'll pass along what you shared with Leah.
You too. Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.